Hello my friends, welcome back to Hoi 4 RwS, my mod that I've been working on for about 2 months now. I am finally back into it. I took a break for about 2 weeks just to kind of recharge. I was feeling a little bit burnt out of everything. And I came back because I had this really good idea for the UK, and that was to touch it. I haven't touched it that much. I have previously moved this, which was the biggest thing I've done. I've moved this to actually be more in line with reality. The Dover Strait is what this is called, and now it works quite well. I split up London into the 6 provinces. I split up Birmingham into 3 provinces right here. I might split Liverpool soon. I'm not quite sure. But I've done some to the United Kingdom to make them a little bit different in this mod, but I wanted to add more. Now, one of the things that really bothered me about base game Hoi 4 was that in vanilla, when you conquer the British Isles, if you do, you end up seeing an entity called Reichskommissariat Großbritannien. So, Reichskommissariat Great Britain, which is always struck me as weird because it just never really seemed to me like they would do that to the UK, and it just doesn't quite feel right. I feel like it'd be much more likely to be a sort of like military government at first, and then transition into like a collaboration, a state, like you see in a lot of the post-war World War II Axis victory mods. You see a UK that is a puppet or at least aligned with the Germans. And so that's what I wanted to do. But I also did not want to get rid of the feature of Arcade Britain, if you do like it, for the other paths. So I made it so that the decisions are invisible if you are fascist, but if you are a different ideology, you will see the base game decision, and this will proceed as normally. But as you probably come to realize by now, that is not how it's going to work. This has a change, and that change is I have split up the UK into 6 different zones. And this is based kind of on history, although of course this never actually happened. Sources are a little bit shaky. I saw sources that said that Oswald Mosley would be in charge of a collaborationist state. I find that kind of unlikely considering his position on Germany, although who knows. But that might have just been like German arrogance or Germany not really realizing that. I'm not sure. But I wanted to kind of implement that in a way that was unique because I feel like there's not enough gameplay changes in this mod yet. I wanted to add something a little interesting. And so that's what I've done here. And to show that, I'm going to kind of recreate the situation of 1940, and then we're going to do a little sea lion, and I'm going to show you what I mean. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we are. I jumped into the 1939 start date. I had a lot of fun with state transfer tool, and you can see that worked out very nicely. 2,000 bugs. Very nice. But I have kind of recreated the situation of 1940. Of course, it's not perfect. I don't care. It is what it is. It's just for showcase purposes. Now, as you can see, I have completed my focus right here, the one that spawns the arcade decisions, just like any other arcade decision. The Britain one is there originally, but now, since we're fascists, it is different. You can tell because the name is different. It's called Pacify the British. And let us see what happens. It's the same prerequisite. You just need to take the entirety of the mainland here. You can keep this away from now. You don't actually have to worry about Ireland, but there is a separate decision dealing with Ireland, of course. But yeah, let's do it. Alright, we're invading. Alrighty, let's finish them off right here. And the UK is dead. And you'll also notice that it is the same as before. Killing the UK does not end the war with the Allies, and Canada becomes the new leader of the Allies. Very cool. In the future, maybe it would actually be neat. Let me know what you think about this. It would actually be quite neat to have like a little focus tree for Canada. That's like the government in exile of the British. That might be pretty neat. Alrighty. Now we can pacify the British. Let's do it. So clicking this decision will split the UK into 6 regions. And again, that's based off of a historical document that says the 6 different regions the Germans planned to split them into. They called them, I believe, military operation zones or military economic zones, something like that. And they did actually provide the capitals for them, so I kind of had a rough idea of what they would even look like, just based off the capitals. Of course, we could never be 100% accurate. There was, of course, London, there was Birmingham, and then there was Liverpool, there was Newcastle, interestingly, and then Glasgow. And then the last one was actually in Ireland, and it was Dublin. So 6 zones, 5 in the UK, only 1 in Ireland, so I can only assume that would be a united Ireland, and so that's what I did. And then for these, you know what, let me just show you. Let us pacify the British. Alright, so as you can see, the British have been split up. Now again, the UK is still alive, they're still fighting, all of that jazz. And they actually also get this event, and I'll just like tag to the UK and I'll show you this event that they get. I'll just kind of spawn it in, I guess. I think it's RwS.31. Yeah, there you go. They even get a decision on what should they do. So you can either keep fighting as like the government in exile here, or you can actually play as the collaborators, which is another interesting choice. And that's because I want to have some sort of interesting mechanic here. I'll get more on that later. But let's see if it works. Yep, it works. See? Now we're playing as the fake UK. And you might be noticing that and wondering, why is this different? And you might just want a tour in general, so let me give you a tour in general. These are all named like military economic zone, and then named after the capital city. That's what I did. And what I envision this as is a military occupation that is trying to claw its way to collaborationist state. Although it's very difficult because resistance in the UK is high. The UK has a very high population, and so that's a big problem. Now, one thing to point out with a feature like this is maybe it calls for something similar in, I would say, Moscow, maybe, like Moscowian, because that is a huge entity. So maybe it should also be split up like that. But anyway, here's the vision. There's going to be some sort of content here, and you're going to have to also pay the price as Germany. It's going to be expensive to occupy the UK. There's going to be riots, of course. It's going to cost political power. It's going to cost equipment, stuff like that. But eventually, through you as Germany and whoever is playing the UK, are going to be able to unify this under the collaborationist state, which is at the bottom here, the one that controls London. And after that, they will be one much stronger puppet, much more, what's the word? A much more legitimate collaborationist state, and that is, I think, really cool. And I have done some portrait work. Of course, my portraits are not the best, and they are just work in progress. A lot of you don't know. These portraits that are around, like, here we go, Liechtenstein, most of these are work in progress. I'd like to eventually make them all look like base game Hoi 4, just because people hate the what do you call it? These portraits, they hate the ones that look different, that don't look like base game. This one's actually very good. So I might have to find someone that can do that. I just can't do that. It just seems like too much time to me to worry about painting, because it's pretty much painting. I would much rather just take a picture, colorize it, and put it on the background, which is pretty much what I do. But anyway, rants aside, I have done that for the UK. I've decided to put in charge of the actual collaborationist state itself, Edward VIII. So let me know what you think of that. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I was talking with some people on the subject, and I've been talking about this for like a month and a half, 2 months actually, since the beginning. And this man named Lance, that's in my Discord server, wrote a suggestion about it, and it got like 300 messages in that suggestion. That was one of our most like talked in forums out of all of them. So a lot of passion there. But I took him at his word that it makes the most sense to put Edward VIII as like the figurehead of the United Kingdom. So that is very cool in my opinion. And these other states are for now mostly generic. So this is a generic leader, of course. Jim Wilson, that's not very German, but we can say that these are, you know, collaborator states. And what I envision for the leaders of these are collaborators, which I know may sound weird since these are military zones. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I can just put a national spirit for these military zones that maybe says the real leader, or just says that, you know, this isn't really the real leader, and then have the leader for it be like the figurehead of that area, like the one that the British people would look up to. And of course, I don't think that would be a German. I think it would probably be a Briton. So that is my philosophy for that, and that is what I have done with these two right here. I have added content for them, not content, just leaders. We have this one which kind of just handles Wales plus like the great what do you call this? The Midlands over here, and that I gave to a famous British Nazi collaborator, and that is John Amory. So he is in the game as well. And then this one also has content, the Liverpool one, and I gave that to a very famous guy, William Joyce. You may know him as well. Look at that scar, very cool. So we have content for those, and it would be fun to maybe like write some stuff, maybe even like small trees for these guys to fight amongst themselves. Maybe there can be different outcomes to this, like in how you end up as a Germans being able to organize this and make it into a collaboration state, or just what you do. And maybe there's even a way for the UK to like collapse and for Germany to maybe lose its military authority if they don't have enough divisions there, if they don't give enough equipment, or if unrest gets too high. There's a lot you could do here, which is pretty cool. I'm excited. I know it doesn't fit the original theme of the mod, which was the states, but I think we have moved past that in a way, even as far as changing the name as well, which is happening soon. I'm going to decide on one soon, I promise. But yeah, this is very cool. We have 3 states with leaders here. The rest are generic. And I'll show you quickly what happens with Ireland too. Oh, I'm actually playing as the collaborators. Whoops. Let's switch back to Germany. And let's just set owner Jer. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright. And then we should hopefully have a decision, and it hopefully should be the right decision since we're fascist and not the vanilla decision. Let's see. Yep, this is the new decision. You click that, and boom, we have our 6th and final zone, and that is the zone for Dublin. Again, a generic leader, nothing there yet. But eventually you'll be able to unify this, and let me just kind of show you what that would look like. RGB is a country tag if you're interested. These are actually all new countries, which is pretty cool. I've been trying to avoid that, but I decided to actually make these their own countries. Mostly because there just wasn't enough countries in the UK to cheat and use. But let's just annex these. So annex RBH. This is going to be RGL, RGN, RGG. And there you go. And I want probably this leader or this thing to change color, make it a little bit brighter since it's like more legitimate, and have more of the UK's hue, which I think would be cool. Oh look, Canada is looking interesting. That's cool too. Whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I might have a decision like that, or maybe this is fine. But for now, I think it's too dark. Although post-war Europe, Nazi victory would, I guess, be like that. But who knows? Let me know what you think. And then also let me know if you think they should be given Ireland, or if Ireland should be handled differently. How should should there be a way for Germany to get involved in Ireland? A special decision or special thing you can do to get involved in Ireland to take them? Because in base game, you don't really usually fight them too often because they are neutral the whole time and they're not really important. At the most, you probably attack them if you want like an achievement or something, which is not the best thing in the world. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. All in all, just a way to pacify Britain in a way that is not just clicking a button. You're seeing actual things change on the map, and maybe even small trees for these nations. And another thing to play if you are England, even if you lose the game, you can either play on as the legitimate UK, or you can play as the collaborator UK. And I think either way, it'd be really interesting. So that's about it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm excited to get back into this again. I'm going to start slowly. I don't want to rush into it and end up losing motivation again. And I'm just going to try to move through at a small pace and not kind of put too high expectations on certain things, or like not come up with too many ideas at a time. That way I don't like feel overwhelmed, which was kind of a problem. But I still want to hear your suggestions. I still want to hear your feedback about what we have so far. But yeah, that is about it. Thank you so much to my member, Polkio. If you want to be a member, you can get videos early sometimes. You get special emojis in the chat, special member posts sometimes, and it really just helps me out a little bit. You don't make much from YouTube at all. This isn't my main source of income, but it is useful for certain things. I need to get better editing software. A better microphone would be great. That's kind of what I'm going to use your ad revenue for. Maybe it's nice to be transparent with that. I'm not sure. But either way, thank you, Polkio, for being a member. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day. That's about it. See ya.